Hello, everyone. My name is Bob the Drag Queen.
We don't say this in Advicery, but I'll go along. And I'm
Say
Monet
your
Exchange.
fucking name, bitch.
No,
And
bitch. This is not the script. You going off script.
We don't have a script. I'm introducing myself to everyone. And you need this? Why'd you hand it back to me? Oh, you didn't hand it back. And this is our advice column show called Sibling Advicery. So what Monet and I do is this is our first time doing one live. As you can tell, there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of madness. Monet has begun the gaslighting. So what we're going to need you all to do is submit your questions right here on the Stereo app. Once you submit your questions, please stick around, because if we choose your question, if we need some more clarification, we might actually bring you up as a speaker to have you converse with us on the panel, darling.
Yeah, because normally...
And again, it's advice. Don't ask us how far the moon is from the earth. We need advice, not questions.
Yeah, and though it's very sweet, and we know you guys love us. You guys watch the season. We prefer not to get comments of adoration of how much you love us on the show. We want like actual questions, and not just romance. We get a lot of romance questions. We get a lot of romance advice, which we love giving romance advice. But we're not limited to that. We can give you advice on other things like work. Like
how to use Stereo, how to send the moderation link.
So we're not limited to advice about romance. And so if you're not familiar, this podcast comes out every Monday, so you might be featured.
Not Monet telling the fans not to say they like us.
Not people throwing tomatoes at your face. That's what you get. Y'all better throw these tomatoes at Bob. Throw these tomatoes.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're getting. And I'm sure there's no tomatoes going to you. I'm sure when you better work.
There are none.
You better rewrite. You better rewrite history. You better rewrite history on the exchange. Please rewrite history.
I should rewrite. Oh.
So first of all, Monet, tell me about your day at the Queerties.
Yeah, Bob and I went to the Queerties. Bob and I were nominated for Best Podcast, along with Race Chaser, The Bald and the Beautiful, and some other ones. And this is what we were talking about today. So, this is another thing. This is the shade. So Bob called me this morning. The first time we spoke this morning, we're on the phone, and I'm like, are you gonna go to the Queerties? You're like, I don't feel like going. I was like, I don't really feel like going either. You're like, you know what? We settle it. Then we're not gonna go. I was like, we're not gonna go. So then the assistant of our manager, Maddie, sends me a text. She's like, hey, Monet, are you going to the Queerties? I was like, talk to Bob. We're not gonna go. We're off cool with not going. She's like, I just spoke to Bob and he's going. I was like, what do you mean he's going? She's like, yeah, I just spoke to Bob on the phone. He said he's going to the awards. I was like, Maddie, you're wrong. I just spoke to Bob. He said no, he's not going. And she's like, Monet, I just spoke to him. He's going. I was like, this shady ass fucking nigga. So then I called this motherfucker and I'm like, are you going to the Queerties? You're like, well, here's the tea. I spoke to Jacob and Jacob didn't want to go. I didn't want to go, but I spoke to Ezra and Ezra wants to go. So I think I'm going to go. I was like, so you're not going to tell me? I was like, we literally just spoke. We said we weren't going to go. That's why I said I was not going. So I was already annoyed by that. So then I was like, well, if I was going to go, I guess I'm going to go. And then I ended up going in drag. And it was really cute. Bianca was there. Manila was there. Trixie was there. Mo Hart was hosting. And a lot of queer friends were there. So it was a good time.
How is me changing my mind about going to the Queerties?
Because we spoke on the phone. We spoke on the phone.
And I changed my mind.
Exactly.
I changed my mind.
Right. But the conversation we literally had a conversation of us going together. The conversation on the phone was, are you going to go? Because I was like, are you going to go? You're like, I don't feel like going. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go either. You're like, work. And we literally said, we're not going to go.
Yeah, and I changed my mind.
And you could have just text me or call me and say, Monet, I'm going to go. And I was like, okay,
well,
cool.
Clearly you weren't answering your fucking phone all day, so would you have answered? I fucking know.
Well, when you spoke to me, did you tell me you were going to go? No.
I also don't owe you
Bob, we were nominated together, and we said that we were going to go together. Like, that's literally the conversation we had. And
we said we weren't going together.
So don't try to
owe you everything I'm doing with my day.
So don't try to act like I'm crazy for being weirded out that you decided not to go after we literally had a conversation about not going. But I mean, whatever.
I think your behavior is a little odd. I don't have to tell you everywhere I'm going.
No one said you had to, but we literally had a conversation about going to the award show together because we're not. So honestly, it really doesn't matter. We both went to the fucking award show. It's not that big of a deal. But what's weird is you're acting like that's not weird. Can y'all chime in? I wanted to chime in. Am I the crazy one? Bob and I had a conversation about going to the awards together. He said he wasn't going. So I said, okay, well, I'm not going to go either. And then he decided to go. Then I'm the crazy one. Work.
Monet, you are really...
No, bitch, you're on one. You are odd one. You are acting like a crazy person.
Wait, we're gonna get to these questions, but before
I need some questions.
You know what?
I need some people to
If you
chime
all
in.
want to, wait, I just want to grab for a second. If you all want to chime in at all, you can also use the hashtag Sibling Advicery on Twitter, and we can scan there to see what you can say. So if y'all want to chime in right now on Twitter, go to hashtag Sibling Advisory. You can tell us right now if you think that I'm crazy for changing my mind and not telling Monet. And in the meantime, we will get to
is Bob
these,
or you can also chime in if I'm crazy when we literally have a conversation about us going together and then Bob changes his mind and not telling me. Am I the one that's acting wild when we had a conversation about it and Bob didn't tell me that he was going? Am I the crazy one? Can y'all chime in on that?
Yeah, I wonder. But in the meantime, we're gonna take a question from Brandon. So Brandon, we're gonna listen in, and if we need some more clarification, we'll bring you to the main stage. Here we go.
Okay, so my name is Brandon. I'm a cousin. No, I'm a sibling. Ha! I'm a sibling. Yes, I am. I'm a nigga, and I have a question. So I have a friend. Well, technically, that's the situation. I have a friend. We met on Tinder, went on a couple dates, and kind of had a little bit of a tryst, but not really. And now we're trying to be friends, but mentally, I still can't go there because I still want the D. What should I do? Sincerely, gay and confused.
Do we need to bring Brandon up? Do we need to invite Brandon to the live? Well, let's first give our advice, and we'll see if we need to bring Brandon up to clarify anything. I mean, in my opinion, I think friends with benefits is a truly glorious thing. It is this really interesting, in my opinion, almost elevated friendship where you get to be there for each other in some really, important ways sexually and all this stuff. But obviously there needs to be a mutual understanding. Now, if you all think that you're not going to go any further and you're not going to, I don't know, if you think it won't complicate things and make things weird for you, then I would say go ahead and get the D if you think it could actually, if you think it could be beneficial to you and not complicate things for you down the line. What do you think, Mom?
Yeah, I think that if you can be friends with benefits and it be all cool and you don't get emotionally entangled, you start to resent that person because it doesn't grow further, then I think go for it. But if you know that you cannot separate their friends with benefits from just being friends and it's going to fuck up everything else, and I said that you need to know that about yourself and not go into it. But I think having a friends with benefits is good. It's someone that you can get coffee with and chill with, also someone you can bone and it'd still be cool. So yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah. Do we have another comment, Jacob? Another great question. All right, this is one from Quentin Phillips. Here we go.
Hi, Bob. My name is Quentin. I'm a queer, 26-year-old queer black man living in Dallas, Texas. And my advice is, should I super be mad and confront one of my good friends for lying to me that he wasn't going to do this birthday trip and said, oh, we're not going to do the birthday trip. I'll come back in town. We'll do all these things. But then a couple days ago, I look on Instagram and I Snapchat. He's full on gone on a trip to New Orleans and with people other than me and then tell me nothing about it when he said, oh, we're not going. So I just need advice on, do I full on confront him about yo, why you shady or not? Thank you. Love you guys so much. So much.
All right, Quentin. That was Quentin from Dallas, Texas, about his friend going on a trip that and basically you weren't invited. I think that I guess maybe you have to assess how close of friends you are. Maybe your friend didn't think y'all were as close of friends and he didn't feel the need to invite you on this trip. But if y'all are like eight boons, you're cool, and they didn't invite you, to me, that's a little weird. I think you have to assess how close. Sometimes it is, for some people are friends and one friend think that they're closer than they actually are. And that person, or maybe he went on the trip with a particular friend group. Again, y'all, if you listen to the podcast, I'm a big proponent of, I don't think all friend groups need to mix. I don't think you need to, all of your friends need to be friends. So maybe he went on a trip with his work friends or his dodgeball league friends, and that's why he didn't bring you on that trip. But if y'all are super cool and y'all super tight, I think it's worth asking, like, hey, so you told me about this trip. I wasn't invited, but then I saw, you told me about this trip and I thought I was going. Then I saw that you went anyway. I just wanted to like know what that was about. I think if y'all are super cool, that's something worth asking and being super honest and upfront as opposed to trying to fight him and beat this nigga up.
Do you think the friend is shady for going with a different group of friends, Monet?
No, I think that if you're going with their particular friend group and that's the friends you want to go on it, like your dodgeball friends or your work friends or whatever friends they are, I think that's cool. But
so what you're saying is it's not weird for someone to say this thing isn't happening, but then end up going. You don't think that's shady, kind of like the Queerities or something like that.
No, that's different. We had a conversation about going together. And
they had a conversation. Quentin, in fact, let's invite Quentin up because Quentin said they had a conversation about it, and then they said that it wasn't happening, and then they end up going. I'm just intrigued by the double standard. I'm going to invite Quentin up to the chat. Quentin, you are joining us to talk on our live. Quentin, welcome to our chat.
Oh my gosh! Oh, this is like this is so
first of all,
cute. I love you guys so much.
Cute. Do you wear glasses in real life?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I love you're so
now, Quentin,
cute.
you were saying that your friend told you beforehand, and then you found out that they were going. And Monet, it's interesting because Monet just said that's not shady. That's so interesting to me.
Well, can we let's let Quentin divulge?
Okay, so what happened? My best friend Garrett, we have been friends since middle school, and we've stayed good friends. And so he moved to Houston. I moved to Dallas. He lived here. He moved, and I went to go up to see him. Only person to go up and see him. And then he texted me. He's like, "Hey, another good friend of ours who still lives in Dallas wanted to go to New Orleans for his birthday." And he texted me about it.
Okay. So he was inviting you on another friend's birthday trip.
No, his birthday trip.
Okay.
So he invited me. And he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm good to go. Just give me the details so I can take off work and I can have my money." And then, so like a couple of weeks later, I said, "Hey, so what are the details? Because I need to know in advance to take off work, so and get my money right, so I can get a room and know the plans." Then he texts me. Then he says, "Oh, hey, so the trip's not gonna happen because our other friend and him put a deposit on a place to stay where I guess we were all gonna stay." But the guy overbooked it, and he's like, "Yeah, so we're not gonna go, and we're gonna have to try and figure out our money. But I'll totally come back in town, and we'll do a birthday thing." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, that's totally fine." And he said, "We're not gonna go." And then, literally, for couple days, last weekend, I'm scrolling and see him on Snapchat and see him on Instagram. They're all in New Orleans for this trip that was not supposed to happen.
And Quentin is your best friend since 8th grade.
Yeah, this is we have divulged secrets. We've gone through parent losses together. We talk about a lot together. And I'm like, so you full on didn't have the courtesy to tell me you were going on the trip, but you had another friend that lives in El Paso make plans, take off work, and get a plane ticket. So what's up with this?
That's shady behavior.
I think my question is, do you think there's a chance that there's something that was going on that wasn't shady? Maybe there's a chance that your friend was like, well, it's not going to happen. And then someone else was like, well, let's do this. I want to surprise you with a this, that. I tend to err on the side of that most people in the world aren't operating in some sneaky, shady behavior because I don't operate in sneaky, shady behavior. So I think that if we lean into the notion that people are not just out here trying to be shady to each other, there's probably a valid explanation. That doesn't mean that your feelings are invalid, because as we've talked about on this podcast, there have been lots of times where my friends go hang out with people and don't tell me. apparently those friends, whoever they are, don't have any sneaky or shady motives. They just were all going out and just never thought to invite me for whatever reason.
Yeah, Quentin, I think that your friend is shady. Y'all have been friends since 8th grade. And Quentin knew that he was going on this trip, and I think that Quentin, if y'all are ace balloons, y'all were planning this trip to go together. Y'all are best friends. Y'all are super tight, and y'all planned on going on the trip together. Then he said it was canceled and ended up going anyway. I think Quentin owed you the courtesy to be like, "Hey, this trip is happening," instead of doing it behind your back. That's my feelings, in my opinion.
But the sad goofery of it all, he called me before he went on this trip. And I had just told him about the days like, hey, I want you to come back from my birthday. And he was totally down and all that shit. So I was making it seem like he had nothing going on, but then went on the trip. And my thing is just like, I would have been cool if you told me, oh, hey, the trip's happening and we didn't have enough spots. I would have been totally cool with that.
Yeah.
But he just didn't tell me. And that's one of the things I'm just like, I thought we was way better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think that's completely valid to feel that way. And have y'all spoken since? Like, have y'all had a real conversation about it since, or has it been like weird and awkward?
We haven't had a conversation about it. I kind of seen a passive aggressive text saying, "Oh, hey, how was the trip?" And he said, "Oh, it was a blast." And I was like, "Oh, I'm so happy you had fun." ... It looked like a real blast to me.
Quentin, yeah, that's wild. I think that is shady behavior. I think your friend moved a little shady, and but I don't think it's worth stop being his friend, and you don't act like you don't seem like you're trying to not be their friend, but to me that is a little shady for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love him to death, and I don't want to stop being friends, but it just was like it kind of hurt a little bit because I'm like, I kind of take back, I was like, damn. You could have just told me and I would have been fine, but I was game to go. I needed a vacation, girl. I've been working. I needed a vacation in New Orleans. I'm trying to get tossed and turned up.
Well, I think that I think open and honest communication is really important, and I think that you should maybe stray from the passive aggressive text and do a full earnest moment where you say, "Hey, this is how I felt." And I just want to know what it was instead of going in lobbing accusations. I would go in and kind of be like, oh, this is what I am hearing and this is how I am feeling. Years ago, I learned this thing where you say what you see, say how you feel, say what you want. So you say, I see that you went to New Orleans without me. I feel left out and I want to be included next time. Say what you see, say how you feel, say what you want.
True, very true. I do want to have a conversation with him about it and just feel like just to get it off the air because I still want to he's still my best friend, love the dude to death, and I still want him to come back for my birthday party. So I'm like, it is what it is.
Well, Quentin, what we have not told you is that he has been listening this entire time, and he has something he'd like to say now.
Let's bring up Quentin's friend. I'm kidding.
Live from Mardi Gras. No, I'm kidding.
Imagine.
All right, thank you, Quentin. Thank you so much for your time.
Quentin.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you so much. I love you both so much. This has just made my entire my day.
Work. Now we don't know how to kick you off, so you have to leave yourself. Quentin.
Bye, Quentin.
Bye. All right. Monet, do you think it's shady to have birthday celebrations that certain people can't come to?
No, because you were invited and you can choose what you want to do. So let's take the next call.
What does that mean? You sound really really guilty.
Well, you're trying to be subliminal, and you're talking about me, and I fully invited you, and you have full autonomy over your body. You can choose what you like to do, and Can we take the next call?
You're right. If I wanted to relapse, I could really have a great.
I mean, you have control of your body. You can choose what you do with your mouth. You can smoke what you want. You can drink what you want. That is all you, baby.
We're gonna invite Michael Smith. We're gonna listen to Michael Smith and see if we want to invite them up. Here we go.
Hey, y'all, huge fan.
Ooh,
love you both.
Sultry.
But I could really use some advice.
Mike went into Batman.
So I currently live in Brooklyn, but I'm originally from a small town called Duck Hill, Mississippi, and it is just as crazy as it sounds. And also my family is very Trumpy, giving very all lives matter the house down, cowboy boots.
Uh,
And so basically my question is, how does someone find pride in who they are and where they come from if they aren't necessarily proud of where they come from? I would love to know what y'all think, because it's like really been racking my brain. Sincerely, Delta Blues.
I love these names. I want to dive in on this one.
Yeah,
I want to
you're
say,
first.
you know, I'm very lucky because I come from a series of small towns, and I also get to travel to a lot of small towns. And on the show, we're here, and you know, every small town is not the majority of its representation. You know, you don't have to be proud of every single thing from where you come from. I mean, if being an American has shown us anything, honey, it is that you do not have to align yourself with everything that America stands for to be proud of yourself. You don't necessarily, you can be proud of where you come from without being proud of every single thing that goes on where you come from. In fact, I think I use this analogy sometimes. If you're in a house and one person, you know, when people like talk about America, like if you don't like, you can leave. If you're in a house and you say like, man, this roof is like leaking, and then someone goes, if you don't like this house, you can fucking leave. You're like, I'm not saying I don't like the house. I'm saying the roof is leaking and we should fix it. If you don't like the house the way it is, then get the hell out of here. I think people who are actually trying to fix the house are the people who love the house the most. So I think that if you're trying to have a positive impact on your small town of Duckfoot, Mississippi. Is it Duckfoot? Of Duckfoot, Mississippi, I think that you actually love the town more than anyone there, or you love the town more than people who are just like the way it is, the way it is. If you don't like it, you can leave. What do you think, Mom?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you don't. I mean, I don't think you have to rep where you're from. I mean, if being queer, we can choose our family, and as you have decided to move from your small town, you now from Brooklyn, you rep Brooklyn, so you can absolutely treasure those things about Brooklyn, and that can now become your hometown. I mean, I don't know how long you've lived in Brooklyn. I don't know how long it's been since you fled Duckfoot, Mississippi, but now you are from New York. Is that where he's from? Duckbill?
I don't know. It's just I'm from Mississippi and I've never heard of Duckfoot, and that really just tickles me. It is so Mississippi to have a place called Duckfoot.
So you now have the privilege. You know how you can choose where you're from. You can rep you can rep Brooklyn, New York, and there are many things to love about Brooklyn, New York. But Brooklyn, New York is not perfect itself. Bitch, I'm from Brooklyn. I know there are many fucked up things about Brooklyn, New York, but you can choose the good parts of that, just like you can choose those good parts about Duckville that you like and rep those good things. No one place is perfect. Every place, every person has its flaws. So you don't need to hone in on those bad things and be like, ugh. We have that really crickety street, so I hate where I'm from. Fuck that. Rep the good things. I'm sure y'all have a good creek. I'm sure y'all have some good old ribs. I'm sure there's some good things about your town that you have, just like there are good things about your new place in New York City, Brooklyn, that you can rep as well.
And I want to remind you all that you can use the hashtag Sibling Advicery to like just comment on what you're seeing and how you feel about the podcast right now. And we now have a question from, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Isaac Arzate, but we can actually invite them up afterwards. Here we go.
All right. Hey, Bob and Monet. So I'm a 22-year-old queer Latinx with he, they pronouns. So my question has to do with some TI and unknowingly uncovered about my bestie. We'll call him Leo. Anyway, so I've always had a question or suspicion that Leo might be queer, but I've never confirmed it since he never really talked about liking girls or guys after the beards he dated in high school. So one night we were all hanging out and Leo left his phone unlocked and he stands as problematic queen. So I wanted to go on his Stan account and tweet some hate from his account as a joke. But when I clicked on one of the accounts that was on his Twitter, it was a gay porn alt account. So I want to know what I should do or how I should approach this. If you can pull me up, I'd love to talk about how I confronted him about it and get more details on it. Thank you. Love you both. Bye.
We need to pull Isaac. Bring Isaac up in the chat. I have so many questions. Bring Isaac up in here.
Isaac, this is...
Bring Isaac's ass up in here.
I just want to see if there's a way to bring him up. Isaac, we need to invite you up. This is wild.
Isaac,
y'all, we're bringing
up
Isaac up because
Isaac. Okay.
Hey, Queens. Hey.
Hi, Isaac.
How are you?
Isaac, how do you pronounce your last name, my love?
It's Arsate.
Oh, Arsate.
Arsate. I know it's very
Oh,
Beano.
Okay, I just want to start by saying this. I think
Isaac.
it is very messy that you went snooping through your friend's phone. That's
snooping. It wasn't snooping. Listen, okay, I wanted to save the backstory because I knew y'all love some backstory. So let me give you some backstory.
Yeah, give us some more details.
So, this is my bestie. We've been besties since middle school. But like I said, that day we were hanging out, and then I was like, because the person he stands is a little problematic.
Wait, tell us who it is. We don't know who the person is, so just say it.
It's Camila Cabello.
Oh, Cinderella! Bitch, I thought you were about to say like fucking like he stands Vladimir Putin. I was like,
well, Cabello was calling Normani a fucking nigger on Google Chat or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
what was it?
She did do that. She did do that.
But so I wanted to like as a joke like tweet from his Stan account like I actually hate this bitch like as a joke because she's anti-black.
Got it.
But anyways, when I clicked on like the open up the other profiles, I clicked on one of them and it was the the corn, as we should say, is for
corn. This is not TikTok, nigga. We can say porn here.
Okay, wait. So you knew that he had an alt account, but you did not know that he had a porn
it wasn't his alt
account.
account. He was following an alt account.
No.
He had a Stan account, and his friend he was following.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Isaac. Yeah. That's not right. Go ahead, Isaac.
He had three accounts attached to his Twitter, his app.
Okay.
So one of them was his Stan account, and the other one was his alt account. So he was the owner of both accounts, but one of them was like bookmarks of So yeah, I actually. A couple of days after I confronted him, I was like, hey, I didn't mention anything about it. I was like, hey, you can tell me anything. Like, you're my bestie. Like, I'll love you either way. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, just know, like, whenever you're ready, you can come out. Like, I'll still be your friend. And he's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. He kind of just brushed it off. And he kind of told me I was projecting. It was giving very much Monet and Bob, like that type of stuff.
What you mean?
It was giving very much gaslighting. But the funny thing is, Bob, you actually met him. We were at your Irvine improv show. You kind of used him as a bit because he didn't know who you were, and he had just gotten to your show because I made him go to your show because he had his wisdom teeth taken out, and he used that as a whole bit. But anyways, that's besides the point. But that's basically my dilemma. So I kind of feel like a bad friend, quote unquote, because he doesn't feel comfortable like telling me who he is, or how would you guys approach this?
So wait, he doesn't know who he doesn't know he doesn't know you know who he is for having a porn account, or he's gay?
Both. He doesn't know I know both.
Got it. So he doesn't know that you know that he is queer and also does porn.
Correct.
Got it. And you're trying to figure out how you can like foster an honest conversation. Like, hey, I mean, honestly, I think honesty is the best policy. Be like, bitch, here's the tea. I was trying to do some funny shit. I was trying to log into your Twitter and take your phone and tweet about Camila and do some funny shit. And bitch, I see that you dabble in some porn. What's the tea? I think you can use the porn as a segue into the because if he knows that you saw his alt Twitter, he obviously what's on there. Like that he like what there was some business going on. So I think the gateway into that would be like, I saw your alt Twitter. What's the tea? And I think have a conversation because if you try to like walk on eggshells and try to like not address it, it's going to get more and more awkward. And then the longer that you sit on this information and he knows that you and when you find, because if y'all are friends, he's going to find out that you know eventually. And if he knows that you've known for a month, a year, 5, whatever it is, that's going to make it worse. And then that's going to make him feel bad that you knew all this time and you never spoke to him about it. So I think the sooner you do it, the better.
And I want y'all on Twitter to chime in about this too. I got to be honest, Isaac. I really do feel like, in my personal opinion, it is a betrayal of trust to take someone's phone, even if you were meeting as a joke. Like I as a rule, I do not like touch people's phones. I don't go through them. That's not a way that I joke. Like I would never tweet something from one of my friends' phones. I don't even look at people's phones when they're using them. I don't like when people look at my phone when I'm texting or tweeting. I hate that shit. Something about it is like, this is
It was
This what? Go ahead.
like we've done that before. Like he's taken my phone.
It's part of your dynamic. It's part of your dynamic,
So it's not
where you guys
an
play
unprompted
around.
thing. Exactly.
Right.
Interesting. I guess that's just a dynamic I would never be comfortable with. But if y'all have established that taking each other's phones and tweeting from each other's phones is a fun goof, then I guess go off. But I do think if you're gonna ask him to be honest with you, then you have to be honest with him. You have to say. You can't just say, hey, if you wanted to do porn, you should say, hey, I saw your alt account and I apologize. I did not mean to betray that part of your trust. I know that's not my business, but I want you to know that I did see it and I don't want you to think that I did not. So I think if you're going to expect honesty from your friend, then you owe him honesty as well.
Drag me. Thank you. I needed that.
just sooner rather do not and yes, you may be afraid of like having like an awkward conversation or being like weird, but I think sooner rather than later. Do not wait. The longer you wait, the worse it will be, because he'll just feel bad that you knew all this time and you knew and you never said anything.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Of course,
yeah.
and y'all let us know what you're thinking about that whole scenario too. And again, you have to remove yourself, because we don't know how to remove people. All right. See yourself out. No, I'm kidding. All right.
Bye, Isaac.
Listen, nowadays, everything is online, and it's really important to me that my website look as fabulous as I do, baby. Making a website can be hard, but I have found a perfect home at Squarespace.
Baby. Squarespace uses incredibly intuitive design to help build your website. You can build your dream website without knowing anything about coding or computers.
Squarespace has a really great and easy to understand analytics tool that can help you gain powerful insights into who's visiting your website and how they're interacting with your content, including page views, traffic sources, time on the site, most read content, audience geography, and more.
They also take care of buying and managing your domain name and make linking it to your website super easy. Buying a domain from Squarespace is simple as all heck, because there are no hidden fees or price hikes.
Squarespace also has great SEO tools and takes the guesswork out of search engine optimization for your website, which means you'll get found and searched by more people more often. For me, this has really been helpful for selling merch. There's a lot of sibling rivalry knockoff merch out there, but I'm always confident that our merch will be at the top of the list.
Squarespace has the tools you need to get your business off the ground, including e-commerce templates and inventory management, a simple checkout process, and secure payments. Whatever you sell, Squarespace has merchandising features to make your products look their best online.
Go to squarespace.com for your free trial, okay? You're going to be gorge. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/rivalry to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.
I'm an LA girl now, living in LA. And one of the things I miss the most is going to see Broadway shows in New York. I still travel to New York City a lot for work, but sometimes it's for a last minute or I have to change my flights around. So it's hard to figure out when I can go to see new shows exactly.
Now, thanks to Today Tix, I've gotten to see so many more shows than I normally would. Honestly, even more than I was living there, because of how quick and easy the Today Tix app/website makes getting tickets. They have amazing prices for some of the best theater I have ever seen in my life.
The last time that we were in New York, Bob, we used Today Tix to snag a last-minute seat to Caroline or Change, which, let me tell y'all, if y'all have not seen, baby, you need to go. We saved $30, and Today Tix is where it's at.
Also, big shout out to Tony Kushner, who wrote the book for Caroline or Change. Today Tix is your one-stop shop for theater tickets with the best value on tickets to Broadway and beyond. Just download the app or visit todaytix.com to find a show you want to see.
Because Realty, getting tickets is easier than ever. With the Today Tix app, you can check out in 30 seconds and pick up your tickets with ease.
Now, book your tickets months in advance or even the day of if you're feeling a little spontaneous.
Today Tix gives you access to exclusive pre-sales, limited time offers, digital lottery programs, to sold out shows, and day of discounted tickets. Because sometimes going to the theater is a last minute thing, and that's okay as long as you go.
Today Tix isn't just for Broadway and London's West End. You can also find tickets in cities across the country and around the world, including Chicago, Los Angeles, DC, San Francisco, Sydney, and more.
Sydney, Seattle?
Sydney, Seattle. Yes, no, Sydney, Australia. Love.
Oh, got it.
Stomping grounds, mate.
See that show you've always wanted to see, or discover something new that you'll love just as much with todaytix.com. Go to todaytix.com/rivalry and use promo code rivalry to get $10 off your first Today Tix purchase. That's promo code rivalry at todaytix.com/rivalry for $10 off your first ticket purchase. todaytix.com/rivalry.
Listen, if you're like me, you always get the urge to hit the reset button when the season changes, especially when it comes to the beauty routine, okay? The good news, Living Proof has a reset button for every hair type and texture.
Everything at Living Proof starts in their labs. Founded by a team of scientists and hairstylists, each product is scientifically engineered to solve the toughest hair challenges, never conceal them.
There's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to hair care. Living Proof develops game-changing formulations that have raised the bar when it comes to tailored hair care performance. Unlike other hair care options, Living Proof addresses your specific hair needs and concerns like frizziness, dullness, damage, and it offers unique scalp and care solutions because science in action equals your best hair.
Not only do Living Proof's products deliver proven performance, but they also deliver on the promise of being silicone-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free, phthalate-free, and never tested on animals.
Living Proof products leave you with brilliantly beautiful hair that's cleaner, longer, and basically it's been working overtime for my partners. Y'all know I don't have hair, but my partners, they love it.
Oh, good. Let me tell you, Jacob's hair, honey, after Jacob started using Living Proof, I can see all the fierce differences in his hair. It's so much softer and shinier. He loves it, and I think y'all will too.
I was playing with his hair today. Now, put science to work and unlock your best hair with Living Proof. Go to livingproof.com/sibling and use code SIBLING to get 10% off your first purchase. That's livingproof.com/sibling, code SIBLING for 10% off your first purchase. livingproof.com/sibling.
livingproof.com/sibling, code SIBLING.
Let's listen to Vincent Lesama.
Hey Bob, hey Monet, this is Vicente, cousin from Patreon. So I'm on Grindr a lot. I can hook up with guys a lot, easy. I think my count is well over the triple digits. But my question is how do I change my approach to talking to guys to be more in relationship? I'm looking to be in a relationship now as opposed to just one-timers. And shout out here from Portland, come through.
Yes.
Love Portland. I went first last time. You want to go first?
Yeah. You know, I do think that a lot of it is about your mentality going into it. I don't really necessarily, I don't personally believe in energy and attracting energy and stuff. That's just not part of my experience. But I do know that when you are, again, open and honest with people, you know, if you say like looking for fun, but wouldn't be mad if a relationship came my way. You know what I mean? The question is, when you're hooking up, are you like walk in, take your pants down, I'm going to splickety splack and you're going to leave? Or do you hang out with them a little bit? Do you get to know them a little bit? I mean, me and Jacob met on Grindr. Our first night we hooked up and this has been an almost 5-year relationship. So I think there is a way to form relationships from hookups and hookup apps. But I think that if you're looking to have something more serious, then obviously, in my opinion, I think it is time to go ahead and be open about that when you meet up with people.
I think you should say what you want. I think that I think you should maybe look at what your profile is giving off, right? So on your profile, do you have language that people will be like, damn, I guess we just fucking and that's it? Yeah, because sometimes people want relationships that they didn't realize their profile is saying, you can't stay over. Their profiles are giving off the energy of you're not trying to fuck around and you're not trying to hang out. You're not trying to like have relationships. So maybe check the language on your profile. And then also when you hook up with these people, like be direct and be like, hey, like maybe after y'all finish doing whatever, be like, hey, you want to go get some coffee or you want to go get lunch or whatever the case may be. Like let people know that you're looking for more than just a wham bam and that's it. I think you have to like, and if that's not working, just honestly just verbalize. Be like, hey, in your tech, I mean, I don't know how deep, how much conversation you're having before you hook up, but in your back and forth in the app, like just say that, say what you're looking for in the app, that you are looking for fun, but you're also looking for a relationship as well, and you will like some fun to lead into a relationship. I think just being super direct on what you want at this point, because we all know everyone can get trapped in the circle of grinders, having sex all the time, and you're not truly getting from the app what you want, which is a relationship. So I think it may be time to just resort to just being super direct and super honest about what you're looking for in the app, which is fun, but you like it to become something else. You like it to become a relationship.
I love the confidence. He was like, "Oh, I can get dick, bitch. I get dick all the time. It's easy for me. Triple digits, dick, bitch." Also, we have a couple of people chimed in on Twitter. This name is like C4Lim3JB says that a good point about Isaac. It said just because he has a gay porn page and makes gay porn doesn't automatically make him gay. That's very true. Good point that I had not even considered. So Isaac, if you're still listening, that is a great point to bring up as well. Again, you can join the conversation on Twitter at hashtag Sibling Advicery. I'm just scrolling through the hashtags and checking them out.
Oh yeah, I'm checking these out. Sibling Advicery 27 minutes ago from at Aaron Cuevo. Bob, you're weird for not telling Monet you're going. How are you going to say something and go back on it without telling her, like, huh? The next one, Sibling Advisory. Bob is wild for not telling Monet they are going since it's a joint award. Sibling Advisory. If Bob going to go to their grave dead wrong about this award show. So everybody say, okay, Isaac.
I don't think I owe Monet my location everywhere in my life. I can go to things without you. And that is the tea.
You know what?
You go to things without me all the time. You do stuff without me all the time.
At Hassad Diga, could Monet turn up her mic? Okay. Sibling
you don't have to read every. You don't have to read every single one, Monet. You don't have to read our text request.
We're reading some. To be honest, just because he has a gay. Oh, this one, Sibling Advisory is standing with Monet in the argument. Sorry, Bob. I'm Team Monet on this one. All right, great. Y'all can look at the Sibling Advisory hashtags and you can make your decisions. Can we get the next question, por favor?
This is Mo Samir.
Hi, Bob and Monet. I have a question. I've been having issues with my professor. He's a sociology professor. And he's been saying a lot of politically incorrect things in class. And I've tried correcting him once and twice, and he keeps saying these old terms that we don't use anymore. They're very politically incorrect, and I'm very surprised that he's actually saying them. But I've corrected him twice already, and he keeps shutting me down, and I don't know what to do. I went to the dean, and she said she would talk to him, but nothing has changed. I don't know what to do.
I think I need some more specifics on this. Like, what is he? Like, what is he saying?
Let me tell you something. I have experienced faculties that are tenured, and the university, they are so slow to move on tenured professors because they've done their time, to quote, for lack of a better word, and they are really slow to act on professors unless it's something like really egregious that they just can't let slide. Which honestly, if they're using wrong terms of sociology, that seems a little sus. But yeah, universities are very slow to move on tenured professors. I'm guessing he's tenured, but we could bring him in here.
Let's bring Mo Samir up and we will find out exactly what is going on with this professor. I want to know. Hi, Mo. How are you? Oh, hi, Mo. How are you?
Hello.
Is this Monet Exchange?
Hey, guys.
So Mo, is your professor? Is it like microaggressions? Like what are they? What, if you don't mind us asking, what are the things this professor is saying that feels antiquated and offensive?
And remember, this is your voice, so whatever you say, we will hold it against you, and we'll act like you're saying it. So be very careful what you say, Mo.
God.
Okay, so they're not like microaggressions. They're like he's flat out saying them. He was saying things like Red Indians. He was saying things like transsexuals. He was saying like he was implying that transgender people are not considered transgender until they do the operation. And I was telling him that it's not true, and he was like, that is true. And it's just the way that he's speaking, it seems like he's very uninformed, or it's like because he's a dinosaur, So it's like he's like teaching from like back when.
Is he? I have a question. Is your professor tenured? Has he been there for a long time?
Because we're like I'm in Lebanon, and so we like only American universities have 10 years and things like
Got
that.
it.
So he's not tenured, but because he's old, I think like the dean doesn't want to tell him to like update his language. It seems kind of awkward. I get it, but I went to her twice and it keeps happening. He's like even the way he says he doesn't say African Americans, he says blacks, and it's just the usage of the words are just so archaic.
Well, I mean, so this is my thought process. There is something about saying it's the S at the end of blacks. It's black. It's when people say blacks. That's when it's like, what is this? I think black is an appropriate term because not every black person is African American, but that's beside the point. You know, obviously your professor is saying some very offensive stuff, and honestly, it sounds like he's coming from a very ill-informed place, and he might need some sort of sensitivity training. And honestly, I know the dean is like the highest you can go at a school, but if the dean's not doing anything about it, I'm a little extreme. Maybe I'm too much, but bitch, maybe it's time to fucking expose him. Like, sometime when you go to the manager and the manager won't do anything about it, you just fucking go to Twitter, and then they all of a sudden out of nowhere, people find out how to act right. All of a sudden, because if this person is from a position of power, they're standing in front of the class, teaching everyone. It gives them, people take their professor's word as knowledge because they trust them. They're educated. They are up here. They have been accredited by the university.
Because there's already prejudice against transgender people, against LGBTQ folk here, and just for him to say this, just teaching people in college this, it just, it perpetuates the cycle of hate towards people of, queer people.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can maybe consider some other ways, like maybe start a petition and have the student body express their discomfort with this professor, and maybe the university, instead of just listening to which they should listen to everyone, but obviously numbers speak volumes, right? So if you can get a majority of this, or I don't know how many people you need to sign a petition for the university to really take to look at it, but get as many signatures as you can. Be like, this is happening. This professor is doing these things, and all of us who have signed this petition feel this way. Something needs to change. I think that is a great way you can make the university open up their eyes to be like, okay, we need to do something now.
Or if you get the professor saying this offensive stuff, bitch, post that shit on TikTok and be like, this is what I have to go and be told is the truth in class every day. I've gone to the dean. She's done nothing about it. And this is my last resort. And I want to say that is very extreme. And maybe you don't want to do that because it can cause trouble with you at school. You could end up being a target.
Part of me feels like I'm graduating this semester and just like, fuck it, it's not my problem. But I feel like part of it is my problem because I'm someone who's queer in this country, and like him teaching this just brings hate to my community,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Someone saying here, as someone also born in Lebanon, I feel like the people aren't really open-minded and educated on social justice as Americans. This is from someone named Hurig. And yeah, I mean, maybe Mo, this is one of those be the change you need to see in the world moments. But I think also understanding that by putting yourself out there, you could end up becoming a target for some sort of hate as well. So just make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you're not putting yourself in any situations that could cause you to, risk your education or risk your safety at school. That's what I would say.
These are what some of the Sibling Rivalry listeners had to say on Twitter. Someone said, this is from @bloodbath bitch, says, fuck respecting the professor, let that nigga have it. She also, someone said the fact that, someone also born in Lebanon, this is from Ori,
I just read that one.
Our IG 94. As someone born in Lebanon, I feel like people aren't open-minded and educated on social justice as Americans. So yeah, I mean, I think I like what Bob said about, bitch, you've seen it. We've all gone to TikTok, on social media, on IG, whatever. You've seen someone posted a teacher or a professor or a parent or someone doing something crazy, and everyone like rallies around the person posting the clip, and they help get action to get that person removed from what they're doing. But I mean, I think a petition is a great way. A petition does not seem as drastic and as aggressive as posting something to social media. So maybe I would say try the petition route. Get a bunch of students, as many students as you can, to sign this petition and present it to the dean or the president or whoever of the university and be like, this has happened. All of us agreed that something needs to change, and see what can happen from there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your advice question, Ma. I think we have time for a few more. Oh, thank you, Ma. We have time for a few more. We're going to now take one from Christian. This is Christian. Also, again, you can join us in the conversation on Twitter at # Sibling Advicery. I really love reading what you all think about these while we talk to people.
Hi, Bob and Monet. My question is, how long did it take for either of you, if you were ever in the position, to move on from a past relationship and that heartache and all that weight, and stop looking for what you had in your previous partner in your future relationships, or what you're looking for? Like, how long did that take, and what does that look like?
Wow. You want to go or you want me to go? I'll go because I think you went first last. I think that after a relationship, it varies for me. I've had like I've had 3 like actual breakups, and the other were just fucking around shits that ended up whatever. But my last boyfriend, that took me like a couple months. I would say like it took me a solid 2 months, 2-3 months to be like really over it. Because again, you spend a lot of time with this person, you love them, and you really like put your heart and soul into the relationship. And when it does end, it is hard, and I don't think that you should feel bad about feeling bad about it. It is completely normal. And I think that take as much time as you feel like you need it, because what you don't want to do is get into a new relationship or dating people or meeting people again, but you still have that heartache you're carrying from the past relationship. Like, don't feel weird about being sad about mourning the loss of a relationship. It's completely normal. But I also don't think you should wallow in it. I think that you should try different things to help you like get over that. What I found was comforting was hanging out with friends and being around people, because obviously the inclination, like you want to like be alone, and you want to listen to sad music, and you want to think about all the good things that happen, and you want to like stay in that. But try to hang out with your friends that make you really happy, and your friends that can take your mind off of it. And I think that is super helpful, surrounding yourself with people who aren't gonna make you wallow in your sadness. Because I have friends that them niggas like being sad, and I would want to put myself with those people because I know I wanted to stay in it. I wanted to be sad about it. Also, bitch, when I break up with someone, I'm very dramatic, and that's too much. So I think it's okay to feel those emotions. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to miss that person, that relationship, but you can't let yourself stay there, because bitch, that's being dark for too long, and it can really, really, really bring you down.
You know, I gotta be honest. I don't have a lot of experience with breakups. I've never been through a breakup before. I started dating really late in life. I didn't start dating until my early 30s. So Jacob is my first boyfriend, and we're still dating. But I have been there for a lot of friends through their breakups. I can say that I've been there with a lot of friends while they were breaking up with people, and I think it's really important to remember that your time with someone else does not define you. That person does not define you. Being with them is, I always say, like, honestly, if you don't want to find anyone that completes you. That's not the tea for me. I'm speaking for myself. That's not the tea for me. I always say, like, you're not it's surf and turf. It's not like you're the perfect complement to my, like, it's not steak and mashed potatoes. Like, we're both the main course. We complement each other, but we do not complete each other. We do not finish each other. We do not, encase each other's everything. But also allow yourself to feel your feelings, and don't beat yourself up for feeling bad. Don't beat yourself up for having perfectly human emotions. It takes some people longer to get over things. And don't try to meter yourself and compare yourself to other people and be like, well, so-and-so got over it in 2 days and so-and-so got over it in 2 months. I'll never forget, my mom was talking to me about how when my aunt passed away, she was really sad about it. I think years later, she was just, because my mom, I only have one aunt or uncle that's passed away. My mom was only lost one sibling. And then I think a year later, she was just sitting there sad. And my mom's boyfriend at the time was like, "You're still sad about your sister?" He said it like that, "You're still sad about your sister?" And she just looked at him and she was like, "I cannot believe you just said that to me. Yes, I'm very sad about my sister." And of course, he never understood until he lost a sibling later down the line. And then he was like, he actually apologized. He goes, "I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how hard it could be." So what I'm saying is, don't be hard on yourself. Allow yourself to get over it in the time that feels appropriate to you, and prioritize yourself in this time. Do not prioritize them. You have to always, even in a relationship, you cannot, in my opinion, you cannot prioritize your partner over yourself. You have to always be the priority in every situation.
Katya's tiny hand said, "Hang out with your hateful friends. Nobody's gonna humble you more than someone who secretly hated your ex." Bitch, that is the real tea. If you really want to get over it, find your friends that hated your ex, and they will remind you of every shitty thing about your ex that was fucking annoying, why they didn't like him, and that will make you feel a lot better. They're like, "Yeah, and that nigga stink, and he eats sloppy, and his breath used to stink, and he ain't brush his hair." And he find your friends that did not find your hateful friends. They will remind you of every gross thing about your ex that you didn't miss. And that's a good way to get over it.
Did you think that me not liking your ex helped you get over him?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you used to tell me stuff. I was like, oh my God, true. It absolutely helped me for sure.
But I just want to point out, I did not ever come out vocally against him until the day you were like, "It's over." I was like, "Great, I have a Google document I'm going to send to you. I've been thinking about some stuff." All right, I think we have time for one more.
Let's do uno más.
How have you enjoyed our Sibling Advisory Live?
Once Patty paid the electric company and I had power, it was great. But
I forgot. If y'all, whoever's been here from the beginning, y'all, it was a wild ride.
You know what? Maybe we can make it a Patreon exclusive. The first fucking 25 minutes of this podcast that we're not gonna air. We'll put that on Patreon because we're not losing it. It was great.
All right, let's listen to Heather Mason. Here we go.
What do you guys think of someone like me who identifies as gay and asexual? I am attracted to men. I like being with men. But the concept of sex is gross to me. It kind of scares me a little bit. I've tried it in the past. I did not like it. But I have gotten a metric fuck ton of backlash from the gay community as a result of me identifying as this.
What is? I would like to invite this person in because I'm curious what this backlash is that they're receiving, and I also have. Can we bring this person in?
Yeah, let's go ahead and invite in Heather Mason. Heather Mason, you're on the line. Welcome to the chat.
Hi. Hello,
Hi,
can you
Heather.
hear me?
Yeah, what are your pronouns, Heather?
My pronouns are they, them. Thank you for asking.
Of course, my pleasure.
Heather.
So Monet has some questions.
Of course.
Yeah. So what?
Happy to answer.
What is some of the backlash you're getting from the queer community about your asexuality?
So, like I said, I identify as gay. I'm very romantically attracted to men, and that is regardless of if they are trans or not, because I think it's stupid to make that distinction. But a lot of it is like you're not actually gay unless you have sex. It's one of those types of things. Like, oh no, you don't like a dick in your ass, therefore you're not gay.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't like putting your dick in another man's ass, so you're not gay.
It is after dark on Sibling Advicery, honey.
It is 2:30 where I am, and I am half a bottle of vodka through.
Oh, God.
Well, you know what, Heather Mason? Listen, your asexuality, not that you need me to validate it, but your asexuality is completely valid. I know people who think that way. They have a really narrow mind of how they think about sex and how they think. I mean, they probably have not met many asexual people before, or they just didn't know. But just because you do not have sex with a man doesn't make you any less gay or any less queer or whatever you choose to. Whatever your inclination is. So yeah, I mean, bitch, don't. I mean, in terms of ignoring those people, I guess is if these people are your friends or these people that you surround yourself often with or these people that you have to interact with, it's hard to ignore that because they've said these things and it's hurtful and it's very fucking annoying. But their opinions about your asexuality mean literally nothing. What other people think about you is none of your fucking business. If they don't understand you being asexual, that's not your fucking problem. That is their narrow mind, and they need to think about the world in 2022. Just because they never met asexual people before, they don't understand it, does not make it any less of a thing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I feel like you do not have to justify any part of your identity to anyone. I'm going to repeat that. You do not have to justify a single part of your gender identity, your sexuality, your gender expression. You don't have to justify any of that to a single person on the planet. It is your business. You can identify how you like. You do not have to have sex to be gay. I mean, a lot of us know that we were queer since the time that we were children, before we ever had sex, and we knew that we were gay. We knew before we were ever into anything, before we'd ever actually done anything.
And sometimes
that I was different in like kindergarten, back when I would have crushes on the boys in kindergarten and not the girls. And then I found out much later in life that I was gay. But it's just like, even like the queer people I surround myself with, like I used to live in a queer dorm for 4 years back when I was in college. And even the people in that queer dorm, they were like, "You're not gay. You're not gay." So it's just like, damn. I wish more people were accepting of different things, essentially.
I think what's happening there, Heather, is that these people, and this is just I'm just assuming here, but a lot of these people, they feel the need to gatekeep gayness because they felt like they had to fight really hard for it. They felt like they had to fight for their identity. And they feel like maybe you're, I don't know, getting away with something, but that's none of their business. And that is their own trauma that they're placing on you that you're not responsible for. And you do not have to hold any responsibility for their trauma response to your experience. And you know, there will always be someone disagreeing with you, you know, and we can change some people's minds, but we can't change them all. And it's not our jobs to. You know, I think that as long as you're living your authentic truth, living your tea, then you're doing the right thing. And there is someone out there who thinks like you and who will want to have the same thing that you want, for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree with that. The only person who needs to understand your asexuality.
The only person that needs to understand your asexuality is you. Is not Tom's or Rebecca's or Trishell's or Keisha's. None of their fucking business. It's all yours.
Fuck Rebecca.
Fuck Rebecca. That swimming in the fucking lake nearby. Fuck Rebecca.
All right. Thank you so much, Heather. Thank you, Heather. And I hope that's not solely your drinking. No, I'm kidding.
No. I've been wanting to ask this question for a while. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I love you both.
Of course.
Thank you for helping me discover drag.
I love you.
Thank you. And again, you have to remove yourself, but we don't know how to remove people from the.
Yes. I'll remove myself from this conversation. Don't worry.
Thank you.
1 second.
I'm so glad, Money, that we've not had a rogue person who wouldn't refuse to get off yet, because we would not be able to defend ourselves.
If it was me, I would absolutely be that person. I would not leave. I'm like, no, make me leave. Chaotic energy.
I don't think that's not you. You're not that bitch you say you are. You're really not her.
I am. I would do that to you. If you had some type of thing and you invited me in, I would not remove myself, and I would troll you the entire time.
That's just so not. That's just so not. You're like, Monet's like, I'm this bitch who lets people motherfucking have it.
Try me.
Y'all would never, honey.
Do a live with your little friend Peppermint, one of your little friends, and invite me in, and I bet you I'm not leaving. I say the whole time.
I could literally, bitch, I could block you from this conversation right now. Let's make that clear, first of all.
Bitch, I can block you.
So listen, everyone, thank you so much for listening to us here on Sibling Advicery.
Excuse me. I'm not done.
What, bitch?
Thank you all for weighing in on hashtag Sibling Advicery. I have read all of the Sibling Advicery hashtags, and you guys have been really, you guys have opened my eyes to a lot of things today, and I appreciate your responses for sure.
What do they open your eyes to?
Just behavior by certain people that I feel vindicated knowing that I'm not the crazy one.
Interesting. Well, congratulations on getting your validation from the internet. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to us on the podcast. I'm grateful that you all listen to us, and we will talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.
And you guys are also saying that you guys like the live advisory, and I guess we will definitely come back. We may not use stereo again. We might try another platform, but actually it ended up working out. But we will definitely do more live advisories because this was really great to talk to y'all and people to explain themselves, and we just understand a little better the situations for sure. So we'll see y'all next time on the advisory.
Bye, everyone.